Achieving 10x results necessitates a profound transformation of your identity. When you embark on a journey of 10x growth, it's not about just pushing yourself to do more or achieve higher quantities. It's about fundamentally altering how you perceive yourself and the story you hold about your own potential.
Welcome to Philosopher Insights, the podcast that delivers wisdom in minutes a day that you can put into practice daily and strive to master over a lifetime.
The podcast committed to sharing ideas that encourage you to bridge the gap between who you are today and the person you aspire to be in the future.
Hi, my name is Herb Lamba, and welcome to my podcast, where I will share practical insights from the world's best authors.
Knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is. The quest to become the best version of you starts right now.
Hi, and welcome to Philosopher Insights. My name's Herb Lamba. Today, we're taking a look at 10x is easier than 2x. Make it easier to do what matters most. The author of this book is Dan Sullivan with Benjamin Hardy, and the book is published in 2023. I want to share a number of my favorite insights from this book, starting with quality over quantity, 10x versus 2x framework, embrace quitting, need versus want, unique ability, dream check, 10x transformation days, and finish it off with map of consciousness. So let's start with the introduction. Quote, most people reach for just a little bit more, a promotion, a little more money, a new personal record. Going for incremental progress is a 2x mindset, which at a fundamental level means you're continuing or maintaining what you're already doing. You're letting the past dictate what you do and how you do it. 2x is linear, meaning you're striving to double output by doubling effort. Do more of the same, just faster and harder. 2x is exhausting and soul-defeating. It's extremely difficult to put the pedal to the metal and grind away for inches of progress. By contrast, 10x is so big and seemingly impossible that it immediately forces you out of your current mindset and approach. You can't work 10x harder or longer. Brute force and linear methods won't get you to 10x. 10x has become a trendy concept thrown around in entrepreneurial, financial, and self-help circles. Yet most people radically misunderstand what 10x means and what it can do. In fact, most people understand 10x literally and exactly backward. Because most people have it backward, they struggle manifesting 10x in their lives. They get stuck in a 2x mindset. But even more, their quest for 10x leads them to seek the wrong thing, an endless race for more. 10x isn't about more, it's about less. End quote. I just finished reading yet another mind-blowing book co-authored by the amazing Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy. These two authors never cease to amaze me with their wisdom and insights. In fact, this is the third book of theirs that I'll be featuring on my podcast. Remember way back in episode 13 when I introduced Dan Sullivan's The Gap and the Gain. It was a simple yet brilliant concept. Then in episode 21, I featured Benjamin Hardy's Be Your Future Self Now, and it was equally incredible. If you haven't listened to those episodes yet, or if you want to refresh your memory, I highly recommend giving them a listen. But now let's dive into their latest collaboration. 10x is easier than 2x. While this book may initially seem like a book targeted solely at entrepreneurs, its message extends far beyond that specific realm. In fact, the wisdom shared within its pages can be applied to virtually any aspect of life. Let's get started with the first insight. Insight number 1. 10x is quality over quantity. Quote, just as 10x isn't about more but less, 10x is also not about quantity. It's about quality. It's not the quantity of work he did that makes Michelangelo legendary, but the almost unfathomable quality of what he did. Each time Michelangelo went 10x, he reached a near godly level of mastery and expression. Sure, he did a lot, a ridiculous amount actually, but so do a lot of people. Many are busy yet unproductive. They do a lot, but ultimately achieve little. 10x is the equivalent of going from crawling to walking, from not knowing the alphabet to reading, from living in your parents' basement to living on your own. 10x is tantamount to going from horse and buggy to a car. 2x is a focus on quantity. You just add a zero and do more of what you've been doing. It's linear and non-creative. It's brute force, not higher intelligence and leverage. 10x becomes your perceptual filter for everything you do. Everything becomes either 10x or 2x. 10x is the vehicle for transforming yourself and your life. End quote. The concept of 10x as a transformative force resonates not only with Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy, but also with other notable authors who share a similar message. One such author is Grant Cardone, renowned for his book, The 10x Rule. Cardone emphasizes the importance of setting goals that are 10 times larger than what you initially envisioned. He argues that by aiming for 10x, you tap into untapped potential and expand your capacity for achievement. Cardone's work aligns seamlessly with the notion that 10x is a vehicle for transforming yourself and your life. Insight number 2, 10x versus 2x framework. Quote, having a 10x mindset means you know and understand that to accomplish more, you must actually do and focus on increasingly less. You know that working more hours does not equate to better results, but on the contrary, working more hours usually means you're grinding your wheels on not innovating your thinking enough. Working too many hours means you're living 2x, not 10x. Put simply, if you're going for 2x growth, then you can keep or maintain 80% of your existing life or what you're doing now. 10x is the opposite of 2x. Going for 10x requires letting go of the 80% of your current life and focus and go all in on the crucial 20% that's relevant and high impact. End quote. To achieve those extraordinary 10x outcomes, you must make a firm commitment to identify the vital 20% and let go of the remaining 80%. It's about strategically filtering out the non-essential and freeing up your resources and focus for what truly matters. Imagine erasing that 80% from your radar, allowing yourself to fully immerse in and dedicate your energy to the essential 20%. By eliminating distractions, you create a space for deep commitment and laser-like focus on the factors that drive exponential growth and transformation. Quote, 2x is working in the business. 10x is working on yourself and working on the business. End quote. I see it all the time. People who want to be better leaders, students, parents, or entrepreneurs, but they don't invest any time in personal growth to develop themselves. Insight number 3, embrace quitting. Quote, in order to become the best, you must embrace the art of quitting. Those who become the best don't hold on to any 80% activity or identity for too long. It's scary letting go of the 80% because the 80% is your comfort zone. It's your security blanket. It's what you've already mastered and can do on autopilot. It's your paycheck. It's your identity and how you're known. It's your story and your habits. Every great leader must face the dilemma of quitting the wrong stuff, even the stuff that's been your bread and butter for years or decades. To become the best at what you do and realize 10x results, you quit everything that can't go 10x from here, even if that means eliminating the best of what got you here. End quote. Consider this. How deeply is your sense of identity intertwined with what you currently do in your daily life? Chances are it's a significant part of who you perceive yourself to be. Your identity represents the narrative you believe about yourself and the standards you set for your own capabilities. Achieving 10x results necessitates a profound transformation of your identity. When you embark on a journey of 10x growth, it's not about just pushing yourself to do more or achieve higher quantities. It's about fundamentally altering how you perceive yourself and the story you hold about your own potential. Shifting from a 2x identity to a 10x identity requires a profound change in mindset, belief, systems, and self-perception. Insight number 4, need versus want. Quote, when you live life based on what you want, rather than need, you're playing an infinite game. You see that reality is created and chosen, and is based on wealth, freedom, and value. You recognize that each of these things is qualitative, individual, and personal. You're not competing with anyone else. Instead, you're collaborating with other abundance-minded creators. When you live life based on need, you're stuck playing a finite game. When you play a finite game, you're driven and controlled by external forces. You're competing for scarce resources. You're focused and worried about what other people are doing. Are you a needer or a wanter? End quote. I love that. Too many people live out of need. True freedom can only be attained when we wholeheartedly commit to a life driven by intrinsic motivation, rather than relying on external factors. When we operate from a place of want instead of need, we unlock a profound sense of liberation. Those who constantly operate out of need find themselves trapped in a cycle of rationalization and justification for their actions. Perhaps you've been contemplating the pursuit of your dream for years. It's essential to recognize that you don't need that dream. Rather, you want it. By embracing the distinction between need and want, you liberate yourself from guilt and hesitation. Wanting the dream allows you to align your actions with your desires without carrying the burden of obligation or justification. Let me ask you again that all-important question. Are you operating out of need or want? Insight number 5, unique ability. Quote, unique ability requires you to determine what you personally like and dislike doing, and decide that others' opinions about it are irrelevant. The basis of a unique ability is to continually be conscious of the activities and the settings you like and that energize you, and the things that don't. This is where freedom starts, with the understanding that your own judgments about your own experience are 100% valid. People say, well, I have a unique ability in 10 different areas. And I say, well, that might be good for the next 90 days. But you're going to notice at the end of 90 days that 7 of those someone else could do. End quote. It's so disheartening when you consider that a significant portion of individuals never take the time to ponder their own unique abilities, let alone harness and apply them in their lives. Many people find themselves wandering aimlessly, lacking direction or purpose. However, it's important to understand that your unique ability is personal and exclusive to you. To delve deeper into this, you must first be honest with yourself and acknowledge what truly resonates with your core desires. It boils down to developing the courage and unwavering commitment to bet on yourself. Embracing your unique ability requires a leap of faith, as you trust in your innate strengths and capacities. It demands that you silence the doubts and external pressures, allowing your true passions and aspirations to guide your path. Quote, the scariest and most exciting thing you'll ever do is be your truest self, holding nothing back and with no apology. This is how you develop mastery in your unique ability. End quote. Insight number 6, dream check. Quote, one way Dan Sullivan helps entrepreneurs clarify their next 10x, and thus illuminates where to develop their unique ability further, is what he calls the dream check. Jim Carrey applied this principle, writing a dream check of $10 million to do a single movie, to become one of the most unique and successful comedian actors of all time. Being paid for your unique ability is living your dream. The more you develop your unique ability, the higher the value the right people will place on it. Your dream check can point the way for what you focus on and optimize yourself for. It clarifies your 20% that you'll go all in on. Your dream check shows you exactly the unique ability you are to develop, such that being paid the seemingly unrealistic or absurd amount of money is actually not crazy at all. What is your dream check? End quote. Indeed, Jim Carrey's story is remarkable. You may already be familiar with the tale of how he wrote a check for $10 million for services rendered, envisioning it as the ultimate dream check that would reflect the value he aspired to offer. So, let Jim Carrey's story inspire you to create your own dream check, a symbolic representation of the value you aim to deliver. Visualize what it would take for someone to recognize and reward you accordingly, and let that vision guide your actions and aspirations. By doing this, you set the stage for remarkable growth, extraordinary achievements, and the fulfillment of your highest potential. Insight number 7, 10x transformation days. Quote, structure your week for high performance and stack similar activities and meetings next to each other on the same day. Switching from different types of tasks, such as creative tasks to administrative tasks, is ineffective. Stop running around like a chicken with your head chopped off. Rather than trying to do several different activities each day during your week, have days solely focused for specific activities. Your schedule and role will likely be totally different than mine as a writer. Your unique ability and 10x objective are different than mine. Apply the principle to yourself and your situation. Stack similar activities and meetings together on the same days. Don't scatter meetings throughout your week. Open more of your days for doing your best work and getting 10x better at your craft. End quote. Now, I can imagine that some of you who are not entrepreneurs might be skeptical about the idea I just mentioned. It's true that not all of us have complete control over when meetings are scheduled or how our time is allocated. However, the principle still holds true, and there are ways to adapt it to our own circumstances. Even if you can't control every aspect of your schedule, you can still apply the concept by blocking off dedicated slots in your calendar for your most important work. By proactively setting aside specific time periods for your 10x activities, you create a commitment to prioritize and focus on what truly matters. That is how you create 10x transformational days in your life. Quote, "It's also crucial to note that if you're going 10x, you're not a manager. Managers don't 10x. You're a visionary and transformational leader. Leaders don't manage. They build teams of leaders that manage themselves." End quote. Leadership extends beyond entrepreneurship and encompasses various domains of life. By cultivating a culture of leadership within your sphere of influence, you empower others to step up, take ownership, and contribute their best. When you foster the growth of future leaders, you create a powerful support system that not only enables you to focus on high-impact activities, but also uplifts the entire team or community. Insight number 8, Map of Consciousness. Quote, "In the book Power versus Force, Dr. David Hawkins developed what he calls the map of consciousness, which conveys where a person is in their spiritual and emotional development. The scale goes from 20, shame, all the way to 1,000, enlightenment. Everything below 200, courage, on the scale is operating from a negative emotion, such as guilt, 30, apathy, 50, fear, 100, or anger, 150. According to Dr. Hawkins, who spent decades developing and studying this map and testing it on millions of people, the average person only advances 5 points up this scale in their entire life." End quote. It's remarkable that despite the accumulation of wisdom and knowledge throughout our lives, most individuals tend to make only a modest progress of about 5 points on this scale. Hawkins suggests that the vast majority of people typically fall within the range of 100, fear, to 150, anger, in terms of their level of consciousness. Quote, "It takes commitment and courage with a value of 200 to begin transforming your life. Once you make commitment and courage toward 10x dreams, you can and will evolve to the higher dimensions on Hawkins' map. You can reach a place of acceptance, love, peace, and even enlightenment. You do this by stripping more and more layers of the David away. By going 10x and stripping away layers of the David, your life will become increasingly focused and simple. Your unique ability will become increasingly rare and valuable. As you go deeper into your unique ability, you can apply less and less pressure, yet produce 10x, 100x, 1000x, and more, the impact and leverage." End quote. As we reach the final chapter of this book, it's a moment for introspection and contemplating our current life perspective. Are you open to expanding your vision by a factor of 10, incorporating the thoughts and insights we've explored together? Are you prepared to define your 10x vision and explore your unique ability? Whether you have identified it already or not is not important. What truly matters is that you possess the power of choice, and you can exercise that choice at any given moment. With that, I've shared the key insights I wanted to convey from 10x is Easier Than 2x by Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy. If you're eager to further enhance your personal 10x thinking, I encourage you to visit www.10xeasierbook.com. There you will find additional tools and resources to assist you in applying the lessons learned and progressing in your own life. Until next time, stay curious and keep embracing the wonders of knowledge. Talk to you soon. You've been listening to Philosopher Insights with your host, Herb Lambert. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.